Today's going to be a good day. What's up, guys? Evie on the leash, and I am hanging out with the Cartel Crew of VH1. Where's my cowbell? Where's my cowbell? Yeah! Let me tell you something. I'm really upset because you are from the 305, the MIA, Dirty South, as Mr. Monroe calls it. And like, I feel like I'm the last one you came to say hi to. Seriously?
Never! Say the best for last.
No! I like that. I like that.
But you know what? Honestly, for me, you're kind of like the first one.
Thank you. See?
You're number one for me. You're number one for me. Because let me tell you something. I grew up listening to you, okay? I grew up on this station. This was my jam. I listened to you since I was yay. I mean, I think I'm still yay high.
Yeah. You know, I'm only 21.
No, what's funny is that I mean, I feel like I've known you guys forever, but I didn't really know you guys. So FYI, Cartel Crew, huge show making buzz across the world on VH1. And I knew about it before it was coming on, and I was like, wow, this is really a big deal. Now that you actually see it on the screen and hear the stories, and I'm actually learning about people that I feel like I already kind of knew, and I'm learning more and more. So, Michael Blanco, I feel like you are the star. Okay, you're the star.
No, not at all.
Tell everybody exactly who you are, Papacito.
I am Michael Corleone Blanco. I'm the youngest proud son of the late great Griselda Blanco, La Doña, the Queen of Cocaine.
Yes, a.k.a. Black Widow, a.k.a. yeah. So what's crazy is that, like, anybody that really knows me knows that I don't watch regular TV. I am obsessed with shows like this. Like, I know your social security number. I know
hell no!
I grew up in this. Your mom is the queen. She's known as being the female Pablo Escobar. And one thing that I do respect about you is that no matter where you go, no matter how many interviews you do, no matter where you're at or who you're with, you have no shame in having love for your mom.
Thank you for that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, how can a young man hate his mother? How can a baby hate the mother that gave birth to him, you know?
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that goes to show the power of a mom. So bottom line, she was your mom, and you felt loved, obviously, your entire life, right?
Definitely. I was her little boy, La Ñaña.
La Ñaña, exactly.
Did you feel because you were the little boy that you got some favoritism?
Somewhat. Because my older brother, well, the one that I'm next in line to, Chiqui Blanco, he was very favored for a long time. And then the prince, you know, that was her prince. Then I came along.
Gotcha.
And it was like, he's 10 years younger than all the other brothers, so he needs more attention.
Gotcha. Yeah. So how would you, as a son, that you felt love from your mom, and I mean, to be real, she's responsible for hundreds of assassinations because of what she did. How do you know that, but know that she loved you? How do you deal with that emotionally? Because it has to be a tough thing, or is it even tough?
Of course, definitely. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. There's so many. It has its pros and it has its cons. When it comes to the emotional love that I have for my mother, I learned to separate that, especially in this corporate atmosphere. I learned to separate the fact that I'm a businessman, and in this country, everybody has freedom of opinion, freedom of speech, and everybody has the right to voice their opinion. You know that, doing what you do. So I have to separate that as a businessman. Emotionally, I don't give a fuck what you say. That's my mama.
It is, yeah.
I didn't mean to curse. But
no, you're right. No, and that goes to show, like, it's called unconditional love, and as human beings, that's what we do. You know, even when you got kids, like your kids, they'll talk back, they'll do something else, they'll get locked up, they'll drug traffic, whatever it is, but you still love your child, and you have the right to that. And have you ever felt like people hated on you for that, or have they tried?
Oh yeah, my whole
life.
I mean, from Colombia to the States, currently, you know, before, people that say they support you, and then I guess my mother used to say, la envidia mata, envy kills. So when I guess people see you doing something good with your life, they're like, damn, why couldn't you keep it real and stay negative your whole life? And it's like, yeah, you have your haters. When I was a kid, it was somewhat different. It was a lot more of a respect factor.
And did you just wake up one day and say, no, this is not for me?
I guess if you tune into the show, you'll find out what was that key moment that changed my life. Most people know it was the assassination of my mother. In the show, tune in every Monday night, 10 p.m., and you're going to see what that moment did to me mentally and physically. And as a father, I had to make a choice whether I carry on a generational type of thing, generational curse to my children, or be a man and just say, they killed the queen. So I guess, it's over. I guess right now I have to make this choice.
Gotcha. It is a culture. We're all hustlers, and you got a hustler right by your side. And I love this woman. Like, I've never even met her, but I feel like I know her already. I love the fact that, first of all, Marie is a little shorty. I know on the show you look tall, and I'm a shorty, so we can vibe, girl. We can vibe.
We're on the same level. Literally on the same level.
Literally. So the first thing I was like, oh, Lord. When I heard how you guys hooked up, no pun intended, I was like, ay, Dios mío, this is such a Miami story. So you guys have been together how long?
4 years.
Around 4 years.
Around 4 years. And you guys met how, ma'am?
Through a third party.
Through a third party.
Oh, that's a good one. See, you know he's grown up with lawyers his whole life, right?
But
you had a previous open relationship.
I had an open relationship with a woman, and she was the one that brought him into the picture. And let's just say that she just, she went her way. I stayed with him. I liked him. I was like, okay, you want to go do this? So me and him, we connected on a different level.
I hit a lick.
I hit a lick.
And you're obviously cartel related with who?
Well, I grew up here in Miami. You know how it was back here in the 70s and the 80s. My dad was a little jack of all trades, like I like to say. My dad did a little bit of everything. And, I grew up with a lot of, the feds busting down my door, being dragged out, having my parents taken away from me for years, and me having to go live with an aunt or an uncle. Even though it wasn't long, it was long enough for me to remember.
Gotcha.
And it was for something that stayed inside of me mentally and physically. And it wasn't actually until I started doing the reality show that I was dissecting my life, and I never realized how much it really affected me. And let me tell you, like I said this story before, my mom made me a crochet clown while she was locked up, and she put her favorite perfume on it. And I'll never, I remember trying to get it for the show, and I was pulling it out of boxes. And I pulled it out, and as it fell out of the box, I broke down crying. Because I'm sitting in my daughter's room. And all of a sudden, the clown rolls out, and I'm like... And I, as a mom, I sat there and I put my feet in my mom's shoes.
Imagine
and
that.
I'm like, man, I wonder what my mom felt like, and it tore me apart, And I was already used to my dad going in and out, but not my mom.
Your mom. Exactly.
My mom was something else. That
different
hit
level.
Really hard. I really thought that at one point I was never gonna see them again. Because of everything I had already seen as a child, being dragged out by feds, being taken over here, over there. It's something that I never, like I said, I didn't think it was gonna affect me till this day. But I don't say it in a hatred way. I don't blame my parents for nothing they did.
Sometimes they do the best that they can, and they do it with a good intention because they're trying to support and they're trying to survive. You guys have a lot of things going on, but I know that you guys have your clothing line, right?
As a matter of fact, my future wife has just opened her clothing line, Mia Cuban.
Yeah, I just started a brand myself, and I started Mia Cuban, which stands for Miami Cuban. So I'm putting that together right now. So.
At the same time, helping me with Pure Blanco.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and Pure Blanco, can you explain exactly what Pure Blanco is?
Pure Blanco is a lifestyle brand that my mother gave my partner and myself the permission to do it while she was alive.
Okay.
So we're like, let's run with it, and we just build up the persona. I started letting the public know that I was alive, because according to other soap operas, I was dead. A lot of people thought that I was impersonating Michael Corleone Blanco, not the real one. So we just worked on it. We built a brand, and you build it and they will come, and now we on VH1, baby.
Somebody asked, how does, especially about every single one of you guys, how do you feel about your history in connection to the Cartel Crew and having cameras around and talking about it? Because that's like the number one fear. I mean, I would be fearful of that. Are you not in fear of that?
Only person I fear is God.
Amen. Fear don't live here. God is with us, therefore what against us?
I'm definitely not fearful. I'm speaking about something that my dad doesn't currently do. My dad paid his dues. Okay. My dad did his time.
Okay.
And to be honest, if my dad was still actively with the cartel as a drug trafficker, I would have never said anything. I would just act like it, it's not happening because that's my loyalty to my family. When I signed up for this show, I asked for permission from my family. My family 100% supports my journey and supports our truth.
Like Michael said, Fear doesn't live here. And me being descendant from Mexicanos.
Órale, güey, what's up? I know Mexicans up in here. I'm half Mexican. Because there's Cubans, you got Venezuelans, you got Puerto Ricans. I'm half Puerto Rican, half Mexican, but yeah. Are you? We're like, I'm half this, I'm half that. That's the cool thing about Miami. Exactly. Miami, right. Exactly. 305, that's exactly what we are. And it's crazy is that we all have different bloodlines. But yo, when you got Miami up in there, you know it's Miami. We got something that you cannot.
That's actually what I'm telling people now. It's like, they call it the crib. It's the pot because we got everything here.
Yes,
and
yes.
we speak only one language.
Yeah.
But it's like he said. I mean, for one, my background is gang related. You know what I mean? And my family is, in the Southwest region. So it's a different vibe when it comes to Miami. But when it comes down to it, everything's connected, and we have a big kinship with Colombia.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it goes hand in hand. But I'm gonna say what I feel.
Yeah.
A mí me vale.
Yeah.
I
feel at home when he talks like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna speak what I gotta speak. If nobody fucking respects it or don't believe it, pélamela. You know what I mean?
You've gone through struggles. I saw just recently, I was going back to episode 1 where you first got into it with Nicole. And then I'm sure just as a woman and you coming up in the entertainment industry, you get hate all the time.
Everybody in some shape or form has something to lose. I pick my battles. I don't fight them all. Sometimes there's an action for a reaction, action, you know what I'm saying? Goes hand in hand. When I signed up to do this show, I signed up to be 100% honest and be myself. When someone like Nicole, she stepped into this show and, is saying, these remarks like, I am... My dad is smarter because he wasn't murdered. My dad was smarter because he wasn't caught. It seemed like a joke, and so I pressed her on that because it was very insulting because what we've been through is never to be made a mockery of. So I wanted to make that a very known fact, which is I didn't have personally time to go back to her Twitter all those years to check a family member badge that she posted. It was my assistant. But either way, I brought it to the table because I wanted to make sure everybody on this show was on the same page because we need to give respect even if you didn't come from the same struggles that we did. So that arrogance needed to be kind of addressed, which was my whole point of this whole story. I wouldn't go around and press people about their lives unless they're trying to pretend to be something that they're not. But once she said a few things on the show, and she realized, because nobody is perfect. Everybody has to grow in their own way. And she apologized. I felt it was big of her. And at that moment, I made that decision to go ahead and accept her forgiveness. I am not, for me, if you guys want to be mad at me because I accepted an apology, that is in your own right. But that I am not going to let that make me feel bad for accepting an apology. If that makes sense.
I chit-chatted with you guys forever, but I feel like I'm having a conversation. That's cool. I feel like I'm like, this is the stuff I want to know, and I'm sure they'll enjoy the answers, but I respect everything that you guys are doing, so I can't wait till Monday night, guys.
We're at 10 p.m. now.
Yes, 10 p.m. Yeah, you guys changed the time to 10 p.m., right, on VH1?
We want to make sure you guys are ready for us.
Yeah.
It's going to get lit.
Yo, I believe you, bitch. She's looking at me in the eye. It's going to get lit. I feel you, girl. But thank you for stopping by. Evie and Leash, this is your house. Power 96, we love you. You guys are Miami. We're Miami. So just keep this going.
Miami, stand up. Don't forget to visit pureblanco.com.